In a quiet corner of the galaxy, there was a small human colony named New Haven. It was a place filled with laughter, sunlight, and the sweet smell of blooming flowers. The colony was home to many families, but one girl stood out among them. Her name was Mia. She was a spirited 12-year-old known for her bright smile and adventurous spirit. Mia loved exploring the forests surrounding the colony, imagining herself as a brave hero in distant lands. One sunny afternoon, Mia decided to venture deeper into the woods than ever before. She wanted to find the hidden waterfall that the older kids talked about. With her heart full of excitement, she packed a small bag with snacks and set off, humming a cheerful tune. As she walked, she admired the tall trees and colorful flowers, feeling at peace with the world. Meanwhile, back in the colony, life was normal. Families gathered for dinner, children played in the fields, and laughter filled the air. But unbeknownst to them, danger was lurking on the horizon. A group of ruthless aliens, known as the Zarnok, had set their sights on New Haven. They were a fierce race, known for their strength and cunning. The Zarnok saw humans as weak and decided to invade the colony, believing it would be an easy victory. As Mia reached the waterfall, she gasped at its beauty. Water cascaded down the rocks, creating a sparkling pool below. She felt a sense of triumph, thinking about how she could share this secret with her friends. But her joy was short-lived. Suddenly, the ground shook beneath her feet and a loud roar echoed through the trees. Mia turned, her heart racing, and saw dark shapes descending from the sky. The Zarnok had arrived. Panic spread through the colony as the aliens landed. They were terrifying, towering over the humans with their sharp claws and menacing eyes. The peaceful day turned into chaos. Families ran in all directions, trying to escape the destruction. Mia's heart sank as she realized what was happening. She wanted to help, to protect her friends and family, but she was just a girl. Gathering her courage, Mia raced back toward the colony. She saw her friends being chased by the aliens, and her heart ached. "I have to do something," she thought. As she approached the center of the colony, she spotted a group of Zarnok approaching a group of terrified children. Without thinking, Mia shouted, "Leave them alone!" The aliens paused, surprised by the small girl's bravery. For a moment, everything felt still. Mia's heart pounded in her chest, but she stood tall, determined not to back down. "You can't hurt us!" she yelled, hoping to distract them long enough for her friends to escape. But the Zarnok were not easily deterred. One of the aliens, larger than the rest, stepped forward. It snarled, showing its sharp teeth, and in a flash it lunged at Mia. She barely had time to react. The world around her faded as the alien struck, and everything went dark. Back in the colony, the cries of the people filled the air. Mia's bravery had bought her friends time to escape, but it had cost her everything. When the dust settled, the Zarnok had left destruction in their wake. Families mourned, and the once vibrant colony was now filled with sorrow. Mia's death shocked everyone. She had been a symbol of hope and courage, and now she was gone. The colony grieved deeply, not just for Mia, but for their lost sense of safety and peace. The anger and sadness spread like wildfire, igniting a flame within the hearts of the survivors. They knew they had to come together and fight back, to honor Mia's bravery and protect their home. As night fell, the stars shone brightly in the sky, but the people of New Haven felt only darkness. They gathered to remember Mia, sharing stories of her kindness and spirit. They vowed that her death would not be in vain. Humanity would rise again, stronger than before, ready to unleash the power of their ancient fleet and seek justice for the girl who had inspired them all. The news of Mia's death spread quickly through the galaxy. The colony of New Haven was in mourning, but among the sadness, a fire of determination was igniting. The human leaders knew they had to act. They gathered in the main hall, a large room filled with the voices of the grieving but hopeful. As the leaders took their seats, a somber atmosphere filled the room. Elder John, the leader of the colony, stood up first. His face was lined with sorrow. The room buzzed with murmurs of agreement. Families who had once been divided by small disagreements now felt a stronger bond. They had lost someone precious, and that loss had brought them together. Among the crowd was Maya, Mia's best friend. She wiped away her tears and looked at the leaders with hope. "What can we do?" she asked, her voice steady despite her grief. Elder John looked at her and replied, We must find the ancient fleet. It is said to be hidden away, waiting for a time when humanity needs it most. That time is now. The mention of the ancient fleet sent a ripple of excitement through the crowd. They had heard stories of this fleet, powerful ships that once roamed the stars, defending humanity. The leaders explained that the fleet was built centuries ago, designed to protect humans from threats like the Zarnok. But over time, as peace settled, the fleet was hidden away, forgotten in the annals of history. Now it was their only hope. The humans had to awaken it. The following day, teams were formed. They searched through the archives and ancient records for clues about the fleet's location. Maya, fueled by her desire for justice for Mia, volunteered to help. She worked tirelessly alongside others, digging through dusty books and old maps. Each new clue was a step closer to hope. Days turned into weeks, and finally a breakthrough came. One of the elders discovered a map leading to a hidden valley on the outskirts of New Haven. It was said that the fleet lay beneath the valley, protected by advanced technology and ancient magic. The leaders called for a meeting to prepare an expedition. Maya felt a mix of excitement and fear. What if we can't find it? She asked one of her friends. He replied, "We have to believe. We owe it to Mia and everyone we lost." His words resonated with her. They had to believe. The day of the expedition arrived. A group of brave volunteers, including Maya, set out towards the hidden valley. The journey was filled with uncertainty, but they were determined. As they hiked through the forest, memories of Mia filled their minds, giving them strength. They could almost hear her laughter in the rustling leaves. When they finally reached the valley, they were awestruck. A massive stone structure lay hidden beneath a blanket of vines and moss. It looked ancient, but there was a faint hum of energy around it. The group exchanged nervous glances, knowing this could be the fleet they had sought for so long. Maya stepped forward, her heart racing. She touched the stone, and to her surprise, it glowed in response. The others watched in amazement as the entire structure began to shimmer. Suddenly, a door opened, revealing a dark passageway leading inside. With a deep breath, Maya led the group into the depths of the ancient structure. They moved cautiously, their footsteps echoing in the silence. As they explored, they found incredible ships, each one larger and more powerful than the last. The walls were adorned with murals depicting battles fought long ago, reminding them of humanity's strength. As they moved deeper, they found a control room filled with blinking lights and screens. The air buzzed with energy, and Maya felt a sense of hope wash over her. They had found the fleet, and it was more magnificent than they had imagined. With a sense of purpose, Maya and the team began the process of awakening the fleet. They worked together, activating the ships one by one. Each ship roared to life, filling the valley with sound and light. The ancient fleet was awakening, ready to rise once more. As they stood together, surrounded by the power of their ancestors, Maya thought of Mia. They were not just fighting for revenge, they were fighting for their future, for the dreams of every child in New Haven. United by grief, they were becoming a force to be reckoned with, determined to protect their home and honor the memory of their fallen friend. The ancient fleet was awake. For weeks, the people of New Haven had worked day and night to prepare the fleet for battle. The massive ships, hidden for centuries beneath the valley, now stood tall and ready. Their sleek metallic surfaces gleamed under the sunlight, and the hum of their engines echoed across the landscape. It was a sight that filled the people with awe and hope. Maya stood at the edge of the valley, watching as the final ship was brought online. She couldn't believe it. Just weeks ago, they had been a grieving, helpless colony. But now they had an army that could challenge the Zarnok. Elder John, who had led the search for the fleet, approached Maya with a proud smile. "You've done well, Maya. Mia would be proud of you." Maya felt a lump in her throat at the mention of her best friend. Mia's death had sparked this awakening, and now the fleet was their answer. "We all did it," she said quietly. "But we're not done yet. We need to learn how to use these ships." The next step was training. The fleet was ancient, and the technology was unlike anything the people of New Haven had seen before. The controls were complex, and the weapon systems were far more advanced than anything modern humans had. They needed to master these ships if they were to stand a chance against the Zarnok. Captain Idris, an experienced pilot from Earth, was chosen to lead the training. He had fought in many battles, but even he was amazed by the power of the ancient fleet. "These ships," he told the group of pilots, "are the most powerful weapons humanity has ever created. but they're only as good as the people flying them. So let's get to work. Maya, along with dozens of others, began intense training sessions. They spent hours each day inside the ships, learning how to navigate, fly, and fire the powerful weapons. The ships were fast, faster than anything they had ever flown before. It took great skill to control them, but the pilots were determined. They knew that failure wasn't an option. The memory of Mia and the Fallen weighed heavily on them, pushing them to do better. As days passed, the pilots grew more confident. They practiced combat simulations, imagining the fierce battles they would soon face. Each day, they grew stronger and more united. A sense of purpose filled the air. But it wasn't just the pilots who were preparing. The engineers worked tirelessly to ensure the ships were in perfect condition. Mechanics tuned the engines, upgraded the shields, and ensured that the weapons were fully operational. Everyone had a role to play, and everyone was driven by the same goal, to protect their home and make the Zarnok pay for their attack. One evening, after a long day of training, Maya stood beside Captain Idris, looking out at the fleet. The ships hovered silently in the air, their powerful engines glowing faintly in the dusk. "Do you think we're ready?" she asked. Idris nodded slowly. "We will be. These ships, they're incredible. The Zarnok won't know what hit them." Maya felt a surge of hope. For the first time since Mia's death, she believed they had a chance. The ancient fleet wasn't just a symbol of power, it was a symbol of humanity's resilience, of their refusal to back down. They had been knocked down, but they had risen stronger. As the final preparations were made, Elder John addressed the people. "This fleet was built long ago to defend humanity. Today we are its guardians. We fight not just for revenge, but for survival, for our future, for Mia." The crowd erupted into cheers, their voices carrying across the valley. Maya clenched her fists, feeling the weight of the moment. The fleet was ready. The people were ready, and soon they would take the fight to the Zarnok. The ancient fleet, once forgotten, was now humanity's greatest hope. The ship stood as a reminder of their ancestors' strength, and now they would carry that strength into battle. The Zarnok had no idea what was coming for them. With the fleet prepared and the pilots trained, only one thing remained: the final confrontation. Maya and the others knew it wouldn't be easy, but they were no longer afraid. They had each other and they had the ancient fleet, and soon they would have their victory. The day had finally come. The ancient fleet was ready, and the people of New Haven stood united for the first time in a long while. The sky above was clear and the sun shone brightly. But in their hearts, a storm of emotions brewed: fear, anger, and determination. Maya stood at the command center, looking at the massive screens showing the Zarnok fleet approaching. The aliens had returned, hungry for revenge after their earlier defeat. Their ships, dark and menacing, moved like shadows against the bright sky. "Everyone, listen up!" Elder John's voice boomed through the command center. "Today we fight not just for ourselves, but for Mia and all who have fallen. We will show the Zarnok that we are strong and united!" Cheers erupted from the crew. Maya felt her heart race as adrenaline pumped through her veins. She looked at her friends, all of them sharing the same fierce determination. They were ready to protect their home. The fleet's captain, a skilled pilot named Aaron, stepped forward. "We have trained hard for this moment. Each ship is equipped with powerful weapons and advanced technology. Trust in each other and we will win." As the Zarnok ships drew closer, the crew moved into position. Maya was on board one of the smaller ships called the Starfire. She was nervous but excited. This was her chance to fight for everything she loved. "Prepare for battle!" Aaron commanded. The crew quickly checked their equipment and weapons, their faces set with determination. Maya took a deep breath, focusing on the task ahead. She thought of Mia, her courage pushing her forward. The moment the Zarnok ships were in range, the battle began. Bright beams of energy lit up the sky as the humans fired their weapons. The Zarnok retaliated with fierce attacks, and explosions rocked the battlefield. Maya gripped her controls, her heart pounding in rhythm with the chaos around her. "Stay close to the fleet!" Aaron shouted. "We need to work together!" Maya nodded, following his orders. The Starfire zipped through the battlefield, weaving between the larger ships. She spotted an enemy ship targeting one of her friends, and without thinking, she engaged the enemy. "Firing missiles!" she announced, her voice steady despite the chaos. The missiles shot toward the Zarnok ship, hitting it with a bright explosion. The alien ship spun out of control and then vanished in a burst of light. "Nice shot, Maya," Aaron cheered over the comms. Her heart swelled with pride, but there was no time to celebrate. The battle raged on. As the fight continued, Maya noticed something. The Zarnock seemed to be focused on one area where the fleet was gathered. "They're trying to divide us," she realized. "We need to regroup." "Good catch," Aaron replied. "Let's pull back and form a defensive line." Maya quickly maneuvered the Starfire back toward the main fleet. She could see her friends doing the same, but the Zarnock pressed hard, trying to exploit their weaknesses. "Hold the line!" Elder John's voice came through, filled with determination. "We can't let them break us." With renewed focus, the humans adjusted their strategy. They formed a tighter formation, their ships protecting each other. The Zarnock ships continued to attack, but the united fleet was stronger together. They fought back fiercely, matching the Zarnock's aggression. Maya's hands shook with excitement and fear. "We can do this," she whispered to herself. She remembered Mia's smile, her laughter, and her bravery. That memory fueled Maya's resolve. As the battle reached its peak, a giant Zarnock flagship appeared, towering over the rest. It unleashed a devastating wave of energy, knocking several human ships out of the sky. Maya's heart dropped as she watched her friends struggle. "Focus fire on that flagship," Aaron shouted. "We have to take it down." Maya and her crew fired everything they had, coordinating their attacks. The flagship shook under the pressure, but it wasn't enough. Just when hope seemed lost, Maya spotted an opening. "Follow me!" she called out, leading her ship towards the flagship's exposed side. The crew fired a barrage of missiles, hitting the ship at its weak point. The flagship shuddered, and with a final explosion, it was destroyed. Cheers erupted over the comms as the tide of battle began to turn. The Zarnock forces, seeing their flagship fall, started to retreat. The humans had done the impossible. They had fought back and won. As the smoke cleared, Maya felt a mix of relief and joy. They had avenged Mia, but more importantly, they had shown the galaxy that humanity was strong and united. Together they had risen from the ashes, ready to face whatever came next. The battle was over, and the skies above New Haven were clear once more. The remnants of the Zarnock fleet had vanished, leaving behind only debris and the echo of victory. Maya stood on the deck of the Starfire, staring out at the horizon, her heart filled with a mix of joy and sorrow. The crew celebrated around her, cheering and laughing. They had fought hard and won, but for Maya, the victory felt bittersweet. She thought of Mia, who should have been there to celebrate with them. A deep ache settled in her chest as she remembered her friends' laughter and the dreams they had shared. Elder John, noticing Maya's silence, approached her. "You fought bravely, Maya. You were a true leader today." His words were warm, but they couldn't fill the void Mia's absence had created. "Thank you, Elder," Maya replied, forcing a smile. "But I wish Mia could have seen this. She would have loved it." John nodded, understanding her pain. "We fight not only for ourselves, but for those we have lost. Mia's spirit lives on in each of us. We must honor her memory by continuing to protect our home."